Here we go. All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the B Project. The B Project stands for Business and Entrepreneurial People Project. So here we are talking about things to enhance your business. In case you don't know what this project is all about, a group of people who are really skilled in certain things have decided to come on and to share some valuable and priceless knowledge in their respective fields to help you enhance or begin your business. So today we're going to be talking about technology, but before we get into what we're going to do today, first thing I want to do is to give our disclaimer. And the statement is that although each speaker here has been doing what they do for many years, some have designations and or degrees and experience in their respective fields. Your attendance confirms that you will not hold us liable in any way for the risk, danger, injury, or...
No, I'm holding you liable, Angela. I'm holding you liable.
And or the success or failure of your business or any other topic of discussion through these meetings. So let us get started. And I want to do a real quick recap of last week's meeting. So last week's meeting, we talked about insurance. We had Billy Davis on here. We talked about some really, really important things in insurance. We talked about employment practice liability. We talked about general liability. We talked about property coverage. We spoke about cyber liability, some things that are really, really big that are going on right now in the industry and how we can help your business. So we talked about those things, and we talked about how it's important for everyone to have insurance. Even though you don't think you really have anything to protect, you actually have more to lose than what you think you have to lose, and it is better to always have it and need it than to need it and not have it. So we talked about those things last week. Those recordings are always available on YouTube. Our dear friend Barbara, who's not with us right now, but Barbara has them under Fuse Empire, I believe, on YouTube, so you can go back. And she also renders them and posts them in the B Project group so that you can go back and review them as well and share them and things like that. So now I want you guys to know that we talked about the initial meeting. We talked about business planning. And business planning to be the most difficult thing for most entrepreneurs. A lot of people tend to think that they really don't need a business plan. They don't want to do it for several reasons, one being it is work. It is work. But I will tell you that a well-thought-out business is the one that is successful. And that's why you need the business plan. All of the topics that we discussed here on the B Project is really the onion layers being peeled back on the business plan. The goal of this is that when we are done, you should be grant or bank ready. You should be ready to get financed and or to have investors to come in. You should be ready. So I want to tell you guys a little bit more about what's happening with the B Project. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about technology. I think technology is one of the biggest deals with starting a business. Now, Trey, I know you're on the call. You recently started a business out on the East Coast. I'm so very proud of you and so glad that you're doing this. But a lot of people tend to think that with business, even though it's a well-thought-out program, they feel like, well, shoot, all I got to do is put up my shingle and I'm good. Well, really what happens is the only people that works for is McDonald's and Starbucks and Harley Davidson. They are really the only ones that I know can put up a shingle and life is just groovy. So it doesn't usually happen like that. So I want you guys to know that as we're going through our presentation, if you have questions, you can either use the chat box, you can raise your hand. I'll be watching the chat box as Antonio was presenting. We want to make sure that your concerns are addressed. And if you need additional assistance, then Antonio can probably help you with that as well. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about Antonio. So Antonio is the owner of AG Technology Consultants, Inc. It's a cutting-edge technology solutions company. AG Technology Consultants is the go-to IT and cloud services company in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. Antonio and his team work diligently to provide essential services to keep businesses running at optimal performance, and for 23 years, the company has passionately been dedicated and committed to helping individuals and businesses all over the world be the best that they can be through the use of technology. As a result-driven, disciplined, and focused individual, Antonio has garnered accolades and has achieved many personal and professional accomplishments, many of which took place before the age of 30. So Antonio describes himself as a person with a heart to serve others. This is also exemplified in his company's motto: we serve you so you can serve others. I do love that, Antonio. And a self-professed committed Christian and a man of faith, Antonio is a proud family man with a beautiful wife and a daughter, and I will agree with him because I know them. So I introduce to you Antonio Gholson. And Antonio, please help us understand how we can serve others better. Help us, please.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome to everybody who's watching live here via Zoom. I want to give a shout out to everybody who watched the replay. And I also want to just take a moment. Thank you so much, Angela. Your check is in the mail. So if it gets lost, talk to the post office. But let me say to you, Angela, thank you so much. You're an angel walking here on this earth. I appreciate all that you said about me, but it's really not about me. It's about you. We're all here. You have assembled probably one of the greatest group of minds in business that I've seen ever. And I thank you so much for your due diligence. Even in the midst of trial and tribulation, you still persevere. So I have watched you for many years now, not many years, but for a few years, and you just persevere. You just keep going. No matter what comes at you, you still thrive. So thank you so much for all that you do for everybody, and continue blessings to you and your family. So I wanted to just say that.
Thank you for
that. With technology, I want to actually have my cousin that I think she just jumped in. She's a business owner, so she popped in. Patricia, Trey, you're live with us. Hello, sir, and welcome to entrepreneurship, of my understanding. So,
thank you.
Listen, we're gonna get started again. Shout out to everybody who's watching the replay all over the world, all the YouTube viewers, all the Facebook viewers. Thank you guys so much. I have been tasked to do something that I think I'm a little bit passionate about, which is technology. So what I'm gonna do, me and Zoom are best friends. I say that facetiously. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get started because I would respect everybody's time. And I'll give you a little bit of background about myself as we kind of get into this. So let me get the screen shared here okay, Angela, you have it disabled for me. So you're going to have to click on something. I'm not sure where it's at, but there's a setting. Yeah, you the technology lady. You got to figure it out real quick.
Okay.
So
right.
Look to, I think it's, if you click on where it says screen share at the bottom, should be a little drop down box right next to screen share at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, hold
at the
on.
bottom of the screen. You're looking up toward the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Multiple. Would it be this one?
Okay. Does this say allow guests to share screen? Yes, you did. See, you're a rock star. Tell me, you're a rock star.
It works.
You are a rock star. You are a rock star. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. You should see my logo on the screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me minimize this. Bring it back. All right. Here we go. I think it's important anytime I get an opportunity to speak. I don't take it for granted. It is an extreme privilege that God allows me to present anything, no matter what it is. I don't take it lightly. I don't care if it's one person or 100,000 people in an auditorium. I want to give it all I got. So I think it's important, I think, a little bit to share a little bit about who I am, because, I'm just a person, a young man who had a desire to help people, and God gave me an opportunity to do that through technology as one of the means. As Angela said in the intro, I've been in business for over 23 years now in the technology space. But I wanted to be looked upon more. I looked to God, said, God, I don't want to just be a computer guy. I don't want to be just an IT guy. I want to do something a little bit more broader than that. And God gave me the concept of a technology consultant, a technology partner, because I believe if technology, which gets to my next slide, technology can be a little frustrating if you don't know how to use it. So I've been very fortunate to have companies all over the country, and in fact, really all over the world, all the way from Africa to Europe, to Sweden, all the way down through the Caribbean islands. I've been able to help customers all over the world. So we try to make the complex simple with technology, and we become your technology partner. We have our niches in the communication sector, so there'll be a little bit of heavy communication around that today, but that's our niche, is in the communication and collaboration sector of business. So let me move forward. All right, so today's our mindset. I won't be before you long, and let me give a little disclaimer, as Angela said a little bit earlier. I talk fast. I know that. You don't have to inbox me and tell me that, but I will not be offended if you tell me you're talking too fast. Slow down. Just raise your hand, ping Angela and say, hey, Angela, I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I tell people I had the best of both worlds. You know, I'm a fast talking Chicago boy with a Southern slang from Alabama. So you get the best of both worlds when you get me. So it's okay. I won't be offended. I want you to get the information. I'm going to try to make sure I keep it slow, but don't be afraid to just kind of say, hey, can you repeat that? I will not be offended. Is that okay? So to go through the agenda a little bit here, we're going to talk about a mindset. Now, you say, why am I talking about mindset? I'll tell you in just a moment. We're going to discuss 4 things every business must have. And then number 3, we're going to talk about a little bit of some technology solutions, okay? And then I'm going to save as much time as possible for Q&A. Because as me and Angela talked about a little bit in our pre-show, is that we want to make this interactive. I want to be able to answer questions for you. I'm going to talk about from a person who's thinking about starting a business, who already have a business for the last year or so, to the business owner who've been in business for now 15, 20 years. I'm going to try to hit every single sector if possible, okay? So let's go to mindset. Again, you say, why in the world are you talking to me about mindset when it comes to technology? Angela said it up front. Technology can be scary. You absolutely must have it. And if you don't know how to use it, it can be frustrating. And when you become frustrated, what do? Nothing, right? You do absolutely nothing. Right. And again, I don't have a problem with feedback, and kind of like a preacher. The more you amen, the more I get into it. When we stop talking, the more. So the more energy I get, the better I can deliver for you guys. So it's quite okay with me. As long as the cat not screaming and the dog not barking, we good. So let's talk about mindset. I love the subject of mindset, because when you walk into a thing and you're fearing something, the thing you fear the most come upon you in most cases. So if you think and you're afraid of technology, you're afraid to do something new, it's going to be petrifying. If it's petrifying, you're not going to do anything. If you don't do anything, you're going to lose. Period. End of discussion. So you have to change your mindset around technology, or really anything, because a lot of times you will talk yourself out of something before you ever get started. And the truth of the matter is, we're living in a technical, logical world today. And with the pandemic and all the things that took place in less than 6 months, are you guys hearing me? In less than 6 months, the world shifted. Period. It shifted. And if those individuals, A, who are not ready for it, B, not willing to make the change, they're either out of business or going out of business. But those who are already prepared, for those who are willing to make the adjustment, are thriving. Are you guys hearing me? So I say this to say this, guys, that the truth of the matter is, it's not so much that, I'm not saying that technology is easy all the time, but I'm saying change your mindset around it. And I'm gonna tell you some things you can do in a moment to really take away that fear factor. That's okay. All right. And my thing for fear is false evidence appearing real. Sometimes you simply make something that is not to be. You get what I'm saying? All right. So the old way of doing business. As you know, with the pandemic and all that happened, it was more about face-to-face communications, about, you know, how many touches can you have. Angela's been in the insurance industry for a number of years now. I'm not going to say how long, because I don't, you know, she's so beautiful. She's only 18 years old. I can't say how long she's been in the industry, right? So you know, the real estate industry, my cousin's been in the real estate industry for a long time. She's in the face-to-face business. But we can't even do face-to-face anymore. So how do you make those adjustments, right? The days of getting on the plane, flying to another state to do business, those days are really coming to an end. Does that make sense? So always, remote working was optional. Like, it was like a perk almost. You know, it was like you had to kick, scream, holler, cry, say my baby got, you know, toothache, I can't come to work, but I gotta do the work, so can I work from home? You know, most times you was lying. So, but you got to work from home, right? So you talk about the old way was more of, it was a forced thing to do because of a snowstorm, because of some natural disaster. You had to work from home. Well, the new way of doing business, you know, there is no such thing as an office anymore. The only reason I have an office, honestly, I just got to get out the house. So for me, it's just a matter, you know, for years I had a brick and mortar. We paid a lot of money for it. My mother had an office downtown Chicago, 162 North State Street. Paid a lot of money. In fact, her old office is right above the ABC studio on State Street. You know,
wow.
A lot of money for it. Why do I say that? Because for years, if you had a big office, you was doing something. Today, I know multi-million dollar, hear me clearly, multi-million-dollar corporations that I service, and their offices in their home, in their basement. Are you guys hearing me? So you see the slide. There's a new way of doing business now, so you have to make the adjustment. So, am I doing okay, Angela?
Yep, you're doing great.
All right, so now what? 5 things every business must have. Are you guys hearing me? 5 things every business must have. So let's get into it. All right, number 1, a good computer. Now, I use the word good computer very lightly. Let me take a step back to just for a moment. The thing I wanted to point out about mindset, which leads me into all of this, is if you're starting a business day one, if you're thinking about starting a business, or if you've been in business for a long time, you always should start with the end in mind. That's the key. That's the key takeaway. Start your business with the end in mind. Now, you may not be able to go out and spend $100,000 on equipment and different things day one, but start with the mindset of where you want to be day one.
Right.
I've run into, as an IT professional for over 23 years, servicing a lot of clients. I have found so many individuals and companies and corporations, franchises, major brands that start just trying to get going, and then they have to end up spending more money because there's small little things they could have done with trying to just ramp up where they could have done it the first time. Now they got to backtrack and spend thousands of dollars to correct the mistakes. Not so much mistakes, but little things they could have done in the beginning. Does that make sense, everybody? So start with the end in mind. Now, as a good computer, because everybody's remote, everything's on the internet today. One of the biggest and the most important investments you can make is in your technology in terms of either a computer. And when I say computer, it's a general term. If you're, depending on kind of business you may have, it could be a cell phone. You know, my wife and my cousin, they're in an online business, right? Their business is virtual. Everything is done through Facebook. Everything is done through conference calls. They don't have a physical brick and mortar location. Her number one device for her business is her phone. The number one device. And the number one device for her phone is not the physical phone. It's the camera in the phone. Why? Because her business is done online. She does Facebook Live. So she went out and made an investment in a phone, $1,000 phone, because the camera is everything in her phone. Does that make sense? Right. So you want to get, so a computer is important. Now, I'm not telling you to spend a lot. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a computer, but get with a professional to find out what your needs are to make a good investment in that technology. All right, guys? That's important because it's going to frustrate you if it's not good. I'm telling you what I know. It is going to frustrate you. All right. Now, the next thing I'm really big about for a business, if you're just starting, if you don't got but $5 to invest in your business, spend it, at least $1 of it, on a professional domain and a professional email address. It is a must.
I agree.
I am telling you, if I see one more person who running a business and they say John's Jewelry Shop, John's Chop Shop, whatever, at AOL.com, I'm going to puke. Okay? Because now, I'm saying that, you know, facetious, but there are a lot of companies out there who started when they didn't even have websites, okay? You just had emails coming out, AOLs and things like that. I'm being facetious when I say that. But at some point in time, you got to transition to a professional email address. Because if you're trying to acquire new business, and I'm trying to do business, what's the gentleman's name again who's with us? I'm sorry. Trey. So if I'm trying to do business with Trey, I don't know anything about Trey. But I'm trying to do business with Trey. The first thing I want to see is, does he have a professional email address? So if he's going to design whatever his business may be, a logo, he's going to fix my car, if he's going to provide me some solutions, I want to make sure, number one, that he's a professional business, right? And the way you do that is by having a domain. I'm going to explain just a moment of what a domain, what a domain is.
And I do just want to add that Trey does have a professional domain name. Amen. With a professional email address, I pay Microsoft $12.50 a month to host my email, and I think it's been the biggest one of my favorite technology investments in my business is my Microsoft Outlook suite. For $12.50, I think I'm getting 2 terabytes of like data storage, and
we're not gonna give Microsoft no plug though.
Oh no? Okay. Well, it's okay, but
you'll see why in a minute.
Okay. I'm curious to get your thoughts too on like G Suite versus Outlook, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject.
No, save it to the Q&A, and we'll discuss it in just a moment. But you're in the right path. So number one, good internet service. Okay, good internet service. And actually, let me change that. Get rid of it. Great internet service. Okay, you have to have, if you are a business, if you are in your home, 9 times out of 10, you need to make the investment in good internet service. If you are a business and you're a business owner, and you're a office manager, you need good internet with a backup source. Now, I am live. I am in a commercial suite with a fiber optic network coming into our office, and I have, look at this, right here in front of me. I have a hotspot right here. So if any reason something goes down, if I start getting an alert right now that Zoom has choppy internet or bad connectivity, I'm gonna pop this on, and you won't even realize I'm gonna make the transition to another backup source. Because we online doing online meetings, we're doing presentations, we're doing different things, especially working from home. You got the kids working for school, you got maybe a husband working from home as well. Everybody's pulling on the bandwidth. You got to make sure you have redundancy in place. Not 90%. A lot of phone systems today have moved analog phone systems to digital phone systems, which use the internet. If you want a phone call, you need to make sure that you have good quality internet services. So again, I'm giving you guys a very high level here. Very high level, but I wanted to just kind of give you enough information that if you want more information, you can reach out to us. We'll give you more detail. And you want to have a good cloud, the cloud platform. He's already talked about it a little bit. Trey talked about some different cloud platforms, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. And I want to break it down. I want to go back to and the fifth thing is a technology solutions partner. Now, what do you mean by that? In layman's terms, you want to have a good IT guy. I tell people all the time, when you start a business or you're in business, there's there's 2 people and 2 to 3 people you need to have on your squad. Number one, you need to have a good accountant. You need to have a good IT person. And I will also venture to say, depending on what kind of business you're in, you need to have somebody in legal, a legal person to advise you. Now, I've found a lot of accountants give a lot of legal advice because they do so much stuff in that sector. But you need to have, and because we have insurance guru on the line, I'm going to add an insurance person as well. But so you gotta have a person who you gotta have a good accountant. You gotta have that in your business. And I'll say you need to have a good IT person. I like to label myself and our company as a technology solutions partner, because we don't just come fix your computer. You tell us where you want to go, and we want to give you the technology to get you to that location. Does that make sense? So now I want to back up, because I think technology don't always work the best, and even for me. And I'm missing a slide, so I'm gonna back up and talk about what a domain name is, okay? Because the slide is acting wonky, and I want to keep it moving. What is a domain name? Okay, that's a question. A domain name is nothing but your address on the internet. So I call Angela, she's in the 219 area code. I'm not gonna give out her name because she's beautiful. I don't want nobody crazy calling her. So, but if I say 219, but if I say 219 XXX, that's her phone number. It's gonna go onto an electronic switch. It's gonna reroute to cell towers. It's gonna hit her phone, all within a nanosecond. The same thing is what a domain name is. The domain name is your website on your address on the internet. Okay. Now, I don't have the slide to really give you a comparison, but for example, my website name, and I'll go back and show you guys this. I can do this really quick here. I'm gonna go to the, okay, I'm gonna go back to the first slide. You guys see my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the full screen now? Okay, perfect. So you see right there where it says, you should see it says my name and my website name, right? See that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can see over there, it says www.agtechsupport.net. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a domain name. So the www dot is always going to be a domain name. What happens is this, that agtechsupport.net is really a phone number. It's called an IP address. It's really like 72.25.300. something. That's an IP address. But nobody's gonna remember that as on the internet, right? So what happens is you type that in, it goes to some servers in the cloud, they do the magical thing, and within a nanosecond is redirected to where that location is. So when you type in zoom.com, it goes to the Zoom servers, it translates the information and says, okay, we're gonna go here, boom, 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 boom. That's what happens. Now a professional email, if you look right below there, it says my email, right? It says support@agtechsupport.net. So here, catch this. If you see an @ symbol and there's something before that, that's an email address, right? So when you go buy your domain, you should get an email address to come with it. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, even if you don't have a website, for years, I didn't have a website. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I did, but don't judge me. I didn't have one. I didn't think I needed one because I did my business through word of mouth. But I lost a lot of business. In fact, the reason why I made sure I got one, because I lost a major client because I did not have a website. Okay, everything else panned out, but I didn't have a website. So even if you not ready to start a website right away, you still buy the domain, because remember, you want to begin with what? The end in mind. So at some point in time, you're going to have a website. You're going to have an online presence. It is your online brick and mortar. It's your online, I call it my online office. All right. So most websites, you can put a business card up, even if all you have is what I have right. When you type in www.agtechsupport.net, if it did nothing but took you to this page right here, for some people, that's at least you have that, right? So then, as Trey talked about, you have a professional email address, because if I'm more likely to do business with the guy who show up at my. Let me give you an example. Paint this picture in your head. I call a local painter. The painter shows up at my house. He's in his car. He's in his car with no hubcaps and 2 dents in the door. Or the person that shows up with a van, a small van, with a logo on the side that has, ABC's painting company. Which one we are more likely going to do business with? You're most likely going to do business with the person who has who's making an investment in their business. So I'm not telling you that if you have Trey's Plumbing at Trey, I'm not picking on you, so don't get mad. Trey's Plumbing at yahoo.com or at hotmail.com. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that, but what's better, of Trey, or no, Trey at tradesplumbing.com. It just sounds better. Makes sense? All right, let's get back into this. It says my screen. Okay, so let's get back to this. It says it's pause. Oh, all right. So you guys, we're on the screen.
All your slides, Antonio, can you maybe push F5 or something and give us your one single slide?
You see all my slides?
Uh-huh.
That's what I was saying. I didn't want you to see all my slides. Okay, that's what I was asking earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
There you go.
That is not so. Angela, you had me out there bogus like that. That's why me and this platform have.
We weren't even looking.
Me and this platform have a love-hate affair. And Trey, you're gonna figure it out in a minute why. We have this love-hate affair. Really more of a hate affair. All right. So let's keep it simple. Regardless of type of business, what's happening in the world, business must enable two types of communication. All right. Number one, if you are actually a business owner, you have employees or have staff, you need to have a collaboration between your employees. That's a must right now because everybody's in different places, in different sectors of the business. In fact, people do business now all over the country. I have a business owner who owns a trucking company, a multi-million-dollar company. He runs his business from Vegas, Henderson, Nevada. He comes here like 3 times a year. I don't even know why he comes anymore. He runs his entire corporation from his home in Vegas. Number 2, communication between business and your customers is so critical. And we're going to discuss that in a moment, and I'm almost done. So now, hopefully you guys can see my screen. Let's talk about, let me go into a couple of these slides. Let me go back for a second. Let's talk about the cloud platform, okay? Let's talk about the cloud platform. And what do I mean by cloud platform? Trey kind of tried to steal my thunder. Thank God, because rein him back in because he's trying to steal my thunder, man. So one of the things that me and Angela talked about is she wanted me to talk about is really enabling a remote workforce. And let me say a little bit different for remote workforce. It's a widely used word now, but you want to be able to do business from anywhere. If you're a small business, especially if you're still working a job, have a 9-to-5 job. Most people start a business, they do not actually quit their job and go full force in business. 99% of people don't take that type of jump. And in fact, neither myself nor
Antonio,
Angela,
we're having some interruption, I think.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Everybody else can hear me? All right.
Can you guys
give me a thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. All right, there we go. Excellent. So one of the things Angela wanted me to talk about was talk about technology that will allow the person starting their business day one to be completely mobile, to completely autonomous away from an actual office space. Being able to go on your break in your job, take your break and still do business and make money. How does that sound? Take your coffee break, you go outside. Instead of being a smoke break, instead of being a water cooler break, you go outside and you make you $100 on your break in 15 minutes. That's the type of technology you need to have in place to do your business. Doesn't matter if you're on a bus, train, doesn't matter if you're on a plane. You need to be able to work your business whenever you need to work your business. Does that make sense, guys? So in order to do that, now you need to have a good cloud platform. And what is the cloud? I get the question all the time. What is the cloud? Oh, I'm scared of the cloud. Don't be scared of the cloud, all right? It's just a term some genius came up with 15 years ago, and all it simply means is not physically in a office. It used to be when you had to actually, I'm bringing up this slide here. It used to be when you had to build an office. When Angela had an office, you had to have a server in her office, which can cost you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You have a physical phone system. My mother got her office downtown Chicago. Her first phone system cost her $30,000 for 5 phones. I never forget it. 30,000. She had this state-of-the-art phone system at the time, and it wasn't nothing state-of-the-art about it, but it just looked good. But it worked. She had an office. She had secretary. She had agents in her real estate company. All kind of stuff. $30,000. She had the phone system. She had to lease it. Okay. That's how much it costs back in the day. This was 25 years ago. So you had to make those type of investments in infrastructure in order to be up in business. I'm here to tell you today that a person can be in business and literally up and running with the right technology in less than 24 hours. You can have things in place. Now, I mean, to get you guys going, get you started. So what I recommend everybody needs to have day one, and if you're in business right now and you already have some technology in place, you want to look at migrating some of your technology to the cloud. And to answer the question about cloud is nothing more than a group of computers, networks, and infrastructure that is no longer bound to a physical location. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It is all of your solutions that you no longer are responsible for in a one physical location. You're now going to empower other companies or other companies to take care of the infrastructure and the technology that you once had to hire people to do in-house. Now, I'm not saying everything has to be in the cloud, but pretty much everything can be in the cloud today. Now, what do I have? What do I have on the screen here? I didn't have time to really edit this as much as I wanted to. But as Trey talked about a little bit, the right cloud solution is going to give you everything you need to run your business in one simple package. Now, you may see the word that says Elevate on the screen. That's actually our cloud platform. I'm not here to promote it. I'm not here to necessarily say anything about us. I just had time to edit the slide. So beat me up later. All right, so here we go. So the right cloud solution is going to give you your email built into the solution. It's going to give you your phone system built into the solution, your web access to deal with your customers. And today, email is quickly becoming, it's not obsolete, but it's quickly becoming a number 2 way of communicating. Text messaging, SMS messaging is fastly becoming the number 1 method of communicating amongst team members and customers. Are you guys hearing me? People rather text you now than to get an email, because you get, I mean, think about it, let's be honest. We do a poll, except maybe Demetrius Peterson, who I see on the line, except maybe him, because his mind is structured and it's probably, he don't like clutter. Most people got 20,000 emails in their inbox. If you go 2 days in your, don't see, Angela, you have to show that face. If you, and probably Trey too, because he got a nice backdrop and he probably very nice and neat. Me, I got 3 different email accounts. I got 40,000 emails in each one of them, okay? But I've had email for a long time, right?
Yes.
So, you know, some people, here's funny, true story. One of my mentors and leaders, if you email her something, you got to text her to tell her to check her email. Otherwise, it'll just get lost and you won't get a response. Now, I'm not saying email, and you probably know what I'm talking about. And you don't have to, I'm not saying email goes away, but if you want to get ahead of the curve, you want to implement a system that will allow you to text a customer or text your customer base or text your staff. But here's the key component. Nobody wants to text out with your personal information. So you need to find a solution. And we do have a solution that will allow you to do, call your phone. Put your phone, if you can put your phone on mute as you come on, we'll appreciate that. So a good cloud platform will allow you to make a phone call with your business number, okay? And at the same time, it will allow you to send a text message from that same phone number. Now, I'm not talking about a Google Voice. I'm not talking about some of these other, I'm not talking any of those things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a real communication system that will work in your office, on the go, mobile, no matter where you are, okay? And also, so as I talked about, you see on the screen, social media, your chat, and your mobile. And as you scale your business up for like the insurance industry, you can scale up to doing things like, what's what we're looking for here? Having call center agents. So that way, when people call into your office, even if you are a one-person operation, I don't want to get too deep into this, but even if you are a one-person operation, nobody has to know that. Remember, you begin with the end in mind. So what's better? You call Trey. See, Trey, and you got to be calling messing with Trey. So you call ABC Painting Company, and they driving down the street, and you call them at 12 o'clock in the afternoon because you want to get a quote. Hey, how you doing? Hello. But you can hear all the traffic noise in the background. You hear the dog barking. You hear the cat barking. You hear all of that stuff. Or you call ABC's painting service, and the first thing you hear you hear, thank you for calling ABC's painting services, whatever your motto is, or where we paint your house the best, whatever it may be, right? But you may be outside with the dog, walking the dog, but the call came in on an app on your phone, right? And you can quickly say, hey, thank you for calling. Can you please hold? Put them on mute. While they're on mute, they're going to hear a nice message or hear some music, hear an advertisement about your business. They have no idea you're walking the dog. So you ran to the corner, to the tree, tied the dog up, ran and got in your car, come back to the phone call. What's more professional? That call or the person with the dog barking, walking the dog down the street? See, you got to think about small little things that you can do for a very small price point. You follow what I'm saying? So it's just small things is going to separate you from the competition. The person who needs that quote. And another big thing, so because we kind of coming short. Oh, wow, the time, Angela, for the ping me, the time is getting away from here. So
I was going to text you in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, my text right now is on mute. Another key component. I mute everything, so I'm talking. So you wouldn't be able to get me. I did not realize that we were actually this far into it. I apologize, guys. So here we go. So I'm gonna hit this last slide. I'm gonna open up for Q&A. I'm so apologetic for that. So a lot of people are doing remote setups, right? So I want to just kind of touch on this a little bit. Number one, you want to have a good space that allows you to be free from distraction. I see a lot of people want to have all these fancy backgrounds and all this kind of stuff, and it's very distracting sometimes. So you want to just have something really simple, really plain, that's not distracting. You want to have a good internet, good Wi-Fi. We already talked about a right computer. So if you're doing an online meeting, these are the things you really want to have in place. You want to have a great economic, great chair. Because if you sit at your desk all the time, you want to have something to be very comfortable. I have a very nice chair myself. I have a desk. I can literally control as you can see my screen going up and down. That's my desk. So I want to get up and sit down. I made the investment to have a good desk so I can stand up. My Apple Watch says, hey, Antonio, it's time to stand up. I can lift my desk up. I can stand up, and I feel better. All right, you want to have a good headset. Obviously, like Trey has a good headset over there. I have my AirPods in. I have Bose headphones. So you make sure you have a good quality sound when you're doing presentation online, and obviously a good webcam. All right. So again, I apologize for going so long, Angela. We can open it up for questions at this particular point in time. Open it up for questions. So if you have any questions, fire away. But I hope that helps you guys. Hope it was a blessing to you guys. You can always reach out to us at 708-483-4823. I also do a tech show live on Facebook every day when possible. I'm trying to get the thing down packed, but my schedule just sometimes doesn't allow it. But I do a free technology show every single day where all I do is answer your tech questions for free. People call me, they text me, they inbox me, they email us. And if we can't answer questions for you, we absolutely will get information to you or point you in the right direction.
Okay, great. I think Janae, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Hey, let me see, Janae.
Hey, I was just
Janae.
asking. Hey, Antonio. I was just asking if this was the same thing as like text message marketing, because I know that's a big thing that's now. But I get messages often from different maybe companies that I've maybe purchased something from, and sometimes I overlook it because I'm just not really good at responding to text messages, and I know that is something that a lot of people actually do really well with, but I think that is something that I would like to implement with what we're doing. And I think I just kind of want to make sure that whatever way that we choose to go, it is something that people will respond to and not just it gets overlooked, because it is something so common as a text message?
Man, that's a phenomenal question. And no, I'm not talking about that. What you're talking about is what's called a short code, where you go to the local department store. You want to receive special, coupons from the local store, right?
Okay.
And then it's not a real phone number. It's like a 5-digit number, right? 72453, right? And what happens is multiple companies may send you text messages from the same number. So you don't never necessarily know what company it is. And you're 100% correct. We all guilty of it. ABC company had a 75% off sale, but I saw it come across my thing. I didn't pay no attention to it. I was busy. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if your business, my business number is 708-483-4823. So right now, if you text me, if you call my office, well, they won't ring now because everybody's gone because I got it on mute. But I'm going to get an actual phone call on my phone, my cell phone here. My computer's going to ring. My desk phone over there is going to ring. My phone and my house is going to ring, and my office and home. They're all going to ring at the same time. Okay? But if you text me, the same thing is going to happen. I'm going to get a text message saying Janae's name up there on all those same devices.
Okay.
Follow me? So you now can actually name. So if you're calling whatever insurance company, whatever the business, you can name. You're going to save it in your phone now. So now you'll know that it's from that particular company. But here's what's great about it from a business standpoint. You just said something very, very key. You're one person. Remember, I begin with the end in mind. When that text come in, everybody who has access to that platform can see that text message.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you have an assistant, they can respond to that text message. They can communicate back with the client or what have you. It depends on how you set things up. But it's great for people I have a company who is an alarm company. So what happens is they will actually text, they'll call or text the client that, hey, I'm on the way, right? And a lot of times the client will text back. And what it used to happen is they'll text the cell phone of the driver back. And they're not going to answer. They don't care. It's not their business. So they don't respond back to the person. They don't care. But now it comes back to the main number, and the secretary or the assistant or the office manager is going to see that appointment, or the scheduler is going to see, hey, a text came in from this client, and they're going to actually be able to actually respond to it.
Okay.
Nothing goes overlooked.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Antonio, I hear you clearly when you say begin with the end in mind. And I also heard you clearly when you pretty much said perception is everything. That's why that domain name is important. That's why having the right technology in place is important. Because like you said, you can be a one-man shop, but no one really has to know that.
Nobody has to know that.
It's this huge business when you're using technology. And so, like what Janae was just asking about being able to use text messaging as a marketing tool and actually being able to receive that text message back with live people able to answer it, and you're not giving out all of your personal information.
Correct.
Because you can be bombarded with stuff once people get your personal information. It's just, they blow you up all the time and you don't have any private time then, and then you start to resent what you're doing, and that's not the point. So, if you can, so I'm looking at the people on the call. I see we got, Trey is actually in the insurance industry. And I know we also have a hairstylist on the phone.
Okay.
And I think, this is just me now. And, I'm in sales. So, I'm always trying to move the dial in sales and get all the sales I can get.
You're always closing.
So I'm thinking for people in those professions where they really need to be in front of people, especially now since COVID has put us in a situation we don't have face-to-face as much. How can they use technology to market and maximize those dollars and hopefully get the same or even better return as they would if they were face-to-face? What kind of technology is in place for that?
What we're using right now, online media. Everything is online now. And it's all about perception, how you present things to people. You know, this the new. So I tried my very best to kind of when I'm doing things like this, not to promote my technology, but but you know, our platform is an elevated platform. Is that's why I was messing with Trey about talking about the Zoom and stuff, because we have our own built-in online platform right within the communication solution. So the bottom line is literally at a click of a button, I can send you a link, just like with Zoom. I can send you a link and we can have an online meeting, just that quick. I can do it from my phone. I can be talking to you right now and switch over to my phone and keep having a video conference with you. So right now it's all about touches. You still need to have the interaction, as you are really big on watching me with body language. That's why you talked about having the camera. It's very, very important. So becoming comfortable with using video conferencing and doing things like that. So does that answer your question? But having a platform that is easy to use, number one, for the customer. It got to be easy to use. It got to be secure. I didn't get a chance to talk about it a lot, but you want to have things that's HIPAA compliant, especially in the insurance industry and different things like that. You want to make sure that you're compliant with government laws and regulations when you're transmitting data, presenting things. If you look at my slides at the very bottom, it said confidential. Those are key words you put there that's going to give you credit. It's going to keep you compliant with federal laws and different things of that nature, so people can't take your stuff and use it. So there's a lot of stuff I can talk about in that area. But am I answering what you're kind of asking me, or?
You did partly. I guess the other thing is I'm thinking of marketing for businesses. You can't go out face to face.
Okay.
I think there's technology
to
send text messaging and capture people.
I got you. And you know what? And I shut it off because of time. But one of one of the things, and I'm just going to read it from my notes, and then we can maybe, you know, anybody want more information about this, we can talk about it. But I'm reading from my notes. And two technologies that, one technology everybody needs to have is called a CRM, a customer service manager. Okay. So you want to be able to manage all the market and manage your customer base. So as Janae talked about, when you start getting customers, you start building an email database, start building a text database. You need somewhere to put that information, okay? It's called a CRM. Okay, one of the most popular out there is Salesforce, which is for the enterprise grade. You have something called Zoho, which is one I'm using now. They have a free service. You have something like, everybody heard of Constant Contact. So Angela, to answer your question, what you're referring to is, how do you do marketing today when you are a small business? You don't have a marketing budget. Well, I have technology I can share with you guys. It's free. You can start with free. One service, again, I'm not going to put it out there in the space on the Zoom because you don't know where this is going to go. Just reach out to me and I'll give it to you, where you can have 10,000 emails at no charge in a database. That's amazing. For free. 10,000. You have up to 10,000, because they want to market. They're marketing to major corporations that has hundreds of thousands of emails. You're right. So 10,000 of them is nothing. Okay.
Right.
You can do marketing campaigns. Now, Janae, to speak to your thing specifically, yes, text messaging marketing is a whole different beast, it's a whole different animal, and yes, I encourage it. There is a cost to that, but it's worth it depending on what you want to do. Now, what I'm talking about is not text message marketing. I'm just saying having the ability to call from your business number and also the text. That's different. But if you want to be able to send out text messaging marketing blasts, where people, but when they call back to your main number, or they text your main number back. You have interaction. So when, for example, when you're talking about, Angela, when someone would actually send a text out and then they respond, you need to be able to say, okay, they responded, want more information. It needs to go someplace so you can follow up with them. It goes into your CRM. Or, for example, I sent out a mass email just the other day. I can see every single person that actually clicked on the link, all the metrics, all the data, okay, all that information. I can tell where they came from, what state they clicked on it from, all of the information. Now I take that, I put it into my CRM. Now I can work those leads through my relationship marketing database. I can put in, last time I had a touch with them. And if you have our phone system or our communication system, every time they call in, it's going to pop up on the screen and say, the last time you talked to this person was on this date. The last thing you talked about was on this date. Does that make sense? Now,
Yeah.
until that point, we got just a couple of minutes. Until that point, I did something for the first time, and I'll be honest and tell you guys the truth. I never did it before. I did Facebook marketing for a big campaign. I had a big webinar actually unveiling our phone system to the world yesterday. Okay, so we've been doing phone systems for, Angela noticed, for a long time. We unveiled a brand new own proprietary platform that we actually is our as our solution that we're running with. But we did a major marketing campaign on Facebook and Instagram. Let me tell you what my marketing budget was. I spent $40. I spent $40. I can pull up my phone. I can show it to you. On Instagram, I reached 12,000 people.
Wow.
$24 on Instagram. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. I just did it. Okay, I just did it, and I had amazing results. I gave my target market, which was the West Coast, and I had 33% of the people on the West Coast signed up from California, Arizona. At the demographic, I got all information. I got a ton of new emails, and I had on my webinar, I had 99 people registered. I'm sorry, 97 people registered for my webinar. I had 66 show up. Those are amazing numbers. Amazing. And those numbers came from Facebook and Instagram.
Wow. I think that's amazing. I think Trey has a question for you.
Oh yeah, I had a quick question too.
He's out of questions.
Oh, I had a whole list, but I'm not gonna go through all of them. We're not gonna do it all. But I love the point about, just to echo on what Angela said, beginning with the end in mind. You know, I spent a lot of time kind of thinking about, okay, how does this business function when it's not just me, when it's maybe 3 or 5 or 10 people? Like, how does this work? So when I was coordinating, you know, the phones and all of that and the rest of the technology, I also spend a little bit of time thinking about what do I want the customer experience to be like, and how can my technology help to create or maybe not necessarily create the experience, because I think we create the experience, but I think technology can help foster that. So I really, really like that idea because it really resonated. So love that. So I'm gonna ask one question because I know we're running short on time. I need a new headset. So I don't know if you can say this on the Zoom call or maybe you can hit me up after, but I bought this one for $20 and it's starting to get like a little shady, like a little in and out. I just want a really good.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Oh, am I going in and out right now?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
But I can tell a little bit, only because my ears trained to it.
I need a new one.
Yeah. Okay. To answer your question, yeah, Plantronics and Jabra are the 2 major brands in the industry. Headsets are very personal. Okay, you have a corded headset, then you have a wireless headset. They can be very expensive. You can spend on a good quality headset, you can spend $200, and you can spend as much as $400. But I always say you want to get a headset that's compatible with multiple devices. You don't want a headset that's going to work only with your computer or only with your phone, because as you scale your business and run your business up, you want to be able to use it on multiple technologies. I don't recommend spending $1,000 on a headset, but you got to look at your headset. If you're on the phone a lot, it got to be comfortable for you. It has to be something that's going to fit everybody's head is different. Let's just be honest, our heads are shaped different. Our ears are different. So it has to be something that is going to be flexible with you and comes with different adapters and attachments that you can make different adjustments. I don't particularly like things over my head. I like that. That's why I have my AirPods. I like to have one that I can go over my ear or go in my ear. That's just me. So I have multiple that I use. So yeah, I can get with you there's a lot of websites out there. Some are shady, but so you got to make sure that you get. Yeah, I'm just being real. Make sure you get the right one. But that's an investment you want if you're going to work from home. If you're going to be working remote, that's an investment you want to put about $200 in up to a side to make a good investment. You can go with a $20 headset, but just get out of it in about 30 days. Just do it for just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, yeah. So Plantronics and Jabra, you say, are maybe two to explore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 brands. Those are the 2, number 1 and number 2, depending on what poll you look at. Those are number 1 and number 2 brands. I have both. I'm not using one now because my AirPods work just, for me today, just easy. I just use it. I actually I don't have it with me. I actually, if I turn the thing around and go to the other part of the studio, I actually have a mic, a condenser mic with a pop filter. That I actually have a pop filter mic when I'm doing a podcast. It's gonna give me a much better clear audio. It just depends on your preference or whatever the case. And I tell you, the reason I didn't use it today because I didn't want to scare anybody. Think you got to have all this great technology. I want to keep it as simple as possible. I got the ring light right here, but it's all type of things you can actually have in place. I didn't want to do a lot of that stuff. I didn't want to scare people.
Okay. So, in hearing you talk about technology, because I think technology is necessary in every business. And if you have a business and you don't quite know where technology stands in your business, you might need more assistance because technology is designed to make your business run smoother, to be able to capture data because data is friendly. And I know that a lot of people are afraid of technology because it's the unknown, and there are so many different conspiracy theories about different things that are happening, and it creates all this illusion. But what I will say is that if you don't catch on to technology and stay engaged, time is always moving. And if you missed it, then you are really behind. I remember telling my mom, probably maybe 6 years ago when she moved out of state. And I told her, because when she was here, of course, we were keeping her up to date on technology. I told her, I said, look, you got to make sure you're staying up with technology. Well, in 6 years, so much has changed. So we bought her an iPhone for Mother's Day last year. And trying to get adjusted because she had a slide phone, okay? So adjusted to an iPhone so that she can communicate with us with FaceTime and she can communicate and see the grandbaby and all of that. Man, it was really challenging because she had not kept up. And I want to get her an Apple Watch or some kind of Fitbit so that we can make sure, it monitors her health and all of that. But I'm like, now, who's going to set this up? Who's going to be able to do that? And I said all of that to say this to anyone, especially business owners. You must keep up with technology because if not, you will be left behind and you will not be able to capture and thrive with your customers and your business the way you see it in your mind. Technology is necessary. It is absolutely necessary, from you being a nail tech to being a roofer to being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You got to have it. You got to have it.
So I put the slide back up on the screen. I hope you guys can see it there. And it says technology. Here's let me just be transparent. The bottom line is, let me see if I can put this up here. Okay, you guys see this? I'm circling this.
Yep.
You see it? Here's the bottom line. Even if you are IT, even if you have IT background, if you have anybody in your space, friend, family member, cousin, brother, sister, you have anybody that can help you out in technology, let them do it, if that's what they do. If you can allocate a little bit of resources to it, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to get business. I'm saying because you need to focus on what you do in business. And one of the things that, I can do PowerPoints, I can do market, I can do flyers, I can do all that stuff. But what a person who does marketing take them 30 minutes to do. Here's a better example. I can build websites. I can do it. I don't like to do it, but I can do it. Or give it to somebody who likes to do it, who's creative, who can do it. What would take me a month to do could take them a week to do.
Right.
So put the investment to have somebody in your corner. That's why I said at the beginning, you need a good accountant, you need a good, you need to have somebody who will give you legal advice, you have an insurance agent, you need to have an IT person. Find somebody. Even if you can't afford to pay them right now, barter. Figure out a way to offer some services. Do something legal to work together, because you need that, because it is going to, or just to call somebody to bounce questions off of, because you don't want to go into doing things because you can't afford to do it. Ask somebody to help you, or just get some information. Always can call us at 708-483-4823. I'm always willing. That's my issue. My accountant fuss at me every single year. He said, dude, you could have made another $100,000 had you charged them for this. I know, but hey, God got me. I ain't worried about it. Because
Just send it to me. That's all. Just send it to me. I'll take care of
it. So I just wanted to say that find you an IT person, a technology solution person, find you somebody. And the reason why I say solution, because you need to, it's a little different than saying IT, because a solution person is the person, hey, what do you want to do, Angela? Hey, Antonio, or what do you want to do, Janae? You know what? We have this business. I want to be to market. I want to be to market by mobile marketing. Okay, that's it. You don't tell me anything else. Let us go figure out the rest of it and bring the solution back to you. Okay, here's what I recommend. Here's my offer. Here's what I suggest you do. And now you can make the decision as an informed business owner without you being up all night, trying to research, trying to do things like Trey right now is on his second screen, researching something. Well, let us do it for you.
I just got the one screen. It's just that my face is looking this way, and then my MacBook is right here. So I'm connected into my one bigger screen that I'm looking at.
Well, you've said some key things, and I think one of the things that you've done is that you've planted some seeds that has already began to sprout and bring up other questions or other thoughts for people in business. And I think it's important. If anyone on here has missed any of this, within the next week, you'll be able to go back on the B Project Facebook page and be able to see the recording of this, because we do record them so that you can come back and review. And I'm just going to do some quick recap, because we got about 6 minutes left, but I want to recap real quick. Antonio came on and he talked about technology. He talked about also some key things that you have to do, not only in technology. He said to begin with the end in mind. That's the whole point of the B Project, because that's why you have a business plan. And for each one of those components in the business plan, you have to begin with that component in mind. What do you want that to look like at the very end? And you start there, work it backwards. So this is very important with technology. And keep in mind, technology changes probably more than other things. That industry changes moment by moment. There's new technology being introduced every day. And he also talks about an IT person, someone that knows what they're doing, so that you don't have to do what they're doing. You can do what you love to do. Because let me tell you, I can't figure it out. I had network computers before years ago. Guess who doesn't want to do that anymore? This girl right here. I don't want to do that. I am so good at my job. That's what I love doing. I don't want to do all that other stuff. So make sure you do that. And also, one of the biggest things, I'm telling you, perception is everything. Perception is everything. Having that domain name, having a professional image, making sure that when people see you, they are perceiving you the way that you want them to. All of that is available through the help of technology. So, Antonio, thank you for sharing those nuggets of wisdom. And it's funny, because all of these things he shared today tie right into next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about marketing. Marketing and technology, they go hand in hand. They really do. And so the person that's going to be coming on next week talking about marketing is Barbara. Barbara is the person, Barbara Carr she is your marketing person. You want to be on this call next week. If you want to know how to market to people using technology, you don't want to miss this. This is going to be the thing that will actually help catapult your business to its next. Now, Barbara she's the CEO of Fuse Empire. She's also the person that she has her own YouTube channel. She puts these videos on her YouTube channel as well, and she renders them and puts it on the Facebook page. Barbara is super creative, super creative. I met Barbara a couple years ago. We belonged to a Christian businesswoman's network together, and then we ran into each other again at Toastmasters. So you definitely want to be involved because Barbara comes with all the stuff you need to bang out your business. You need to be on the call. So any of the things that you want to discuss or that you may want to know that we have discussed, you can see it on YouTube or you can see it on this page. Please, 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 the whole point of this project is to empower you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding so that you can get out here and thrive. This was not just my idea. This was really a God idea. He said when we come out of this pandemic, people should be ready, not wasting time trying to get ready at that time. This is that time to get ready because we are coming out of this pandemic. And when we come out, I want you to be able to come out blazing, ready to go to whatever your next is. So if you have questions, Antonio has put his contact information in the chat. You can always inbox me. I'm happy to share it with you. I want to see you win. Every presenter that comes on, we want to see you win. So anybody with any last-minute questions or comments?
I'm available. I'm here. If you guys got any questions, go for it.
Okay, because I'm going to the Dairy Queen, so if y'all don't have any more questions.
I don't have any questions, but I did think everything went very well.
Okay, thank you, Janae.
Thank you.
I appreciate everyone taking their time out because I know it's the summertime. People want to be out. I appreciate you taking your time to come onto the call and chat about the things that are really moving the dial for you in technology. I hope to see each one of you next Thursday as we talk with Barbara Carr about marketing. And inbox me if you have any questions or concerns. And thank you all. Have a fantastic evening. Go be great.